Blogging is a fully responsive WordPress theme designed and built in line with the philosophy that content is king. It's a truly intuitive, unique and innovative theme that's going to make your visitors want to read raw content on your blog. It's a number one reason why you should get the blogging theme. And it's built with the latest standards, including HTML5 and CSS3. And blogging is also compatible with all of the best WordPress plugins, including WooCommerce, and it's a really powerfully packed theme. In this video, I'm going to be showing you a complete guide to setting up blogging. Before we start though, you want to make sure that you've got a good knowledge of WordPress in order to get the most out of this video. If you haven't, then head over to mythemeshop.com/WordPress-101, and here you're going to find some video tutorials giving you the basics on WordPress, and further down the page you've also got some advanced WordPress tutorials. So even if you're familiar with WordPress, you can get a little bit extra out of it here. We're going to get right into the video though, and the first thing to do is to head over to the member area at mythemeshop.com/go/member, and here you want to go to your active premium resources and download blogging. You want to click to expand that and click download on theme files. You just want to save that to your computer, and now you want to head over to your WordPress dashboard and then go to appearance and then click on themes. We're going to install the theme now, and you want to press on add new and then just upload theme. Here you can choose file and choose the file you have just downloaded. Select that, click open and then press install now, and WordPress is going to upload the theme and install it onto your site. And once that's done, all you need to do is just click activate here in order to activate the theme. You're going to see here that you've got some recommended plugins, and you can install these just by pressing begin installing plugins. And you just want to tick up the top and then use the bulk action of install in order to do that. I'll let you do that there, and here we're going to head right over to the theme options by clicking on appearance and then theme options. The theme options is the control panel for the theme, and it's where you can control everything to do with your site. We're going to take you through all of these different tabs here, but before we start, I'm just going to use the import and export tab in order to show you a little feature here, which is going to allow you to set up one of the pre-built designs that you'll find on the demo on mythemeshop.com with just one click. You can check any of these out just by pressing the demo button in order to see what it looks like. And once you've chosen one that you want to set up, you can just press import, and what that's going to do is overwrite all your current options and import the same settings for the theme options that you find on the demo on mythemeshop.com. And if I head over to my site now, we're going to see that already I've got the exact same demo set up as in the demo on mythemeshop.com. Now it's only going to import the layout and not the content. So if you want to import the dummy content, you can do that by going to tools and then import. And there's a full video tutorial on how to do that on community.mythemeshop.com. If your images aren't displaying nicely, then you'll want to use a plugin called Regenerate Thumbnails in order to make sure they're at the right size. And you can find that just by going to plugins and then add new and then do a search for Regenerate Thumbnails. But here you can see we've got the slider working and all of these additional articles below. So you've got this option available for the 3 pre-built layouts that you've got with blogging, and you can just go to import and export and choose the one you want here. You can just click on the demo in order to see what it looks like and press import in order to import the options into your theme options panel. If we head back to the general settings, then I'm just going to take you through all of these one by one. The general settings contains the common settings which can be applied to the whole theme. You're going to see first that you've got your logo image. You can change the logo just by pressing remove upload here and then clicking browse and either choosing a logo from your media library or uploading something. I'm just going to upload that same logo just to show you what that looks like. So you can just press select files and then choose the file you want to add. Just press select image and that's going to add that in, and it's the same for the favicon and also the touch icon, which is an icon that's going to represent your website on the homepage of iOS 2 Plus and Android 2.1 Plus. And you've got the same for a Metro icon for Internet Explorer 10. You can customize with details such as adding in your Twitter username, so here I can just add in mine, and also your feed burner URL, which is going to get the most out of your RSS feed. I'm just going to add in mine here. Here you can add in any header code that might be your Google Webmaster Tools verification, Bing Webmaster Center, etc, etc. You can add that in here. It's going to add that between the header tags. And it's the same for footer code. You've got a nice box to add that in here. And that might be things such as your Google Analytics or Stat Counter. You can change your pagination type just by using these radio boxes here. Here this is on the load more button, so when I get to the bottom of posts here, you're going to see I can just press this load more button and then I can add more posts in. You can also have an infinite scroll though, so when you get to the bottom it's going to load posts automatically. You can have a numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So you can just click on a number in order to get to a different number of the archives, or you can just have a next/previous. I'm going to have this on load more. You can also turn on or off the AX quick search. What this does is enables or disables search results appearing instantly in the search form. So if I just save this and then refresh my homepage, you can see that when I start searching, the results are going to be shown automatically below, and I can get the results immediately without having to click through to the search page. It's a really nice way of improving the user experience there. You've also got to turn on or off the responsive design. You're probably going to want to have this on so that users on mobile and tablet devices get the better version of the theme for them. You have options to turn on or off right to left language support, and also can control the number of products that are going to show on this shop page if you're using the WooCommerce plugin. Once you've made any of those changes, you're going to want to make sure you press Save Changes in order to save those and make them applied immediately to your site. The next tab we're going to have a look at is the performance options, and this tab contains performance related options that can help speed up your website. You've got a couple of different unique options here, including prefetching. Here you can enable or disable prefetching, so if a user is on the home page, then additional pages are going to load faster. And if the user is on a single page or on a post, then the home page is going to load faster in modern browsers. This is a great way of speeding up the performance of your site. You can just turn that on by pressing that. Also have the option to turn on or off lazy load, which is only going to load images once they're visible on the screen. This is a great way of speeding up the load time of your site and also reducing server resources. You can add async JavaScript tags to improve the download speed just by pressing on here, and also remove the verb parameters from the CSS and JavaScript file calls. This may improve speed on some browsers which do not have cache files in their parameters. You can just turn that on by pressing on. We've also got the option to optimize WooCommerce scripts if you're using the WooCommerce plugin, and this will load WooCommerce scripts and styles only on WooCommerce pages and not on the rest of your site. And again, you can just turn that on by pressing the on button. It's also recommended that you use a caching plugin. This can increase the page download speed of your site dramatically. And we'd recommend you try either W3 Total Cache or WP Super Cache, and you can just click on either of these links in order to install them onto your site. They are both free plugins. As always, once you're done, make sure you save your changes just by pressing Save Changes. The next option we're going to have a look at is the styling options, and here you can control the visual appearance of your theme, including things such as colors, layouts, and patterns. The first thing we have here is two color scheme color pickers, and here you can use these color wheels in order to choose the two main colors used on your site. You can use this color wheel in order to drag and drop to get the color you want, or you can enter the hex code, the HTML hex code, to get a specific color. You've also got quick links to readily used colors here. I'm just going to set mine to a red, and we'll have perhaps the complementary color if we have perhaps a lighter yellow here. If I save those changes, then I'm going to see we have my site as it is currently. And if I refresh, we're going to have those colors immediately added. You can see we've got that red and then that yellow contrasting there. And you can change these to any colors that you like and play around in order to get the look that matches your brand. We've also got options to change the default sidebar position. This can either be right or left. You can just change that by pressing those two there. You've got options to change the site background. You can use a color picker here in order to change the color. So I might have that as a light gray instead of just a white. Or you can add a background image, and you can have a pattern and choose one of these pre-built patterns here. So you can just select these in order to get the one you want, or you can use an image and you can just upload one here and press browse to choose from your media library, or you can upload one by pressing upload files. You can also add a gradient and choose two colors to go between and from. So I might have perhaps start at white and head to a slightly darker gray, and then you can just save those changes in order to get that to show. If I just refresh my site, we're going to see that I've now got this slight gradient going on with the background, just fading out as we go down the page. You can play around with these options in order to get it looking how you want. You can also change the direction of the gradient and also have a parallax effect on or off if you're using images. I've got the option to add custom CSS here. This will overwrite the default CSS on your site and is a neat way of customizing your theme further. You can add a lightbox, which is a stylized pop-up that allows visitors to view larger versions of images on the current page, so without leaving the current page. It's a great way of just increasing engagement and improving the user experience. You can turn that on or off just by using these buttons here. And as always, make sure you save your changes once you are done. Next, we're going to have a look at the header options. And here you're going to be able to control all of the header elements of your site. You can choose a header background color. Again, you've got a color picker here, and it's the same as before. You can just choose a color here. I might go with a bold red here, for example. You can choose whether to have the floating navigation menu on or off. So you have this on, then as you scroll down the page, the navigation is going to scroll with you. So I'll just show you what that looks like. First, we're going to see that we've got the header background color changed, but also as you scroll down the page, you're going to have the menu come with you too. A great way of increasing access to your navigation. You can choose whether to have the primary navigation menu on or off, as well as whether to show the search form in the header. You can show or hide the logo. Again, you can just toggle that. You've also got the options to add social media icons to your header, and you can add as well as drag and drop in order to move those around. You can expand any of these in order to add in your details. So here I have Facebook, my Facebook icon, and the URL to my Facebook page. Just press OK once you are done, and you can also add additional header icons just by pressing this button here. And of course, you can also drag and drop those. I'm just going to leave those as they are and press Save Changes in order to get those live on my site. Next up is the footer at the other end of the site, and here you can control the elements displaying in your footer section. You can change the background color just by using this color picker as I've shown before. You've also got the option whether to have on or off the footer navigation menu. That's the secondary navigation. You've got similar social media icons. Again, you can drag and drop these as well as expand in order to add your details. And you can also add additional footer icons just by pressing this button here. You can change the copyright text, and you might want to have your link to mythemeshop.com, including your affiliate link, where you can earn up to 70% of sales from those who you refer to the site. Once you're done, make sure you save your changes in order to get your footer showing up. Next up to show you, we have the homepage. And here you can control all of the elements of the homepage, including the main homepage slider. You can enable or disable this by pressing this button here. And if you disable it, then the options for the slider are going to disappear. You're probably going to want to have that on as it's the main attraction for the homepage. You can choose the slider categories, so that's the categories that are going to display in the slider, and you can add or remove these just by typing in category names here or pressing the X. You can also select all of your categories by pressing this button. You can change the number of posts to display, so if I wanted to have more posts, perhaps 10 in my homepage slider, I could just do that there. You've also can change the meta information to show on your slider. This includes things such as the author name, categories, and date, and you can just drag and drop in order to choose what is added here. So if I wanted to add the date, but I had to remove the category, then I can do so just by pressing those. That is all the options to do with the slider, so if I save those and refresh my site, I'll be able to see what those look like. We're going to see we've now got 10 posts displaying, and we've got the date and the author, but no mention of the category. I can just scroll through these in order to show the 10 posts that we've got displaying on the slider now. Heading back to the theme options though, next we're going to have the featured categories. This will allow you to select the categories appearing on the homepage. By default, this is going to have the latest posts, and you can see here under categories, you just need to select latest post in order to access this. You can, however, also have just select categories from your site. So if I wanted to have one category perhaps with a fewer number of posts, perhaps having 6 posts, and then add another one below that, I can then do that here. And then I can add as many of these as I like and also drag and drop. Finally, you might want to have a latest post just displaying at the bottom. You can also choose the homepage sidebar. You can choose whether to have a limited height sidebar, which is going to be inserted into the post grid, or have a full height sidebar, which is going to display at full height down the side of the page. And the same is going to apply to the post archive pages. I'm just going to have the limited height in order to make that a little bit neater. You've also got options for the homepage post meta information. So you can choose here how you want to organize the post meta info on the homepage. Again, that's author name and date. You can just choose to drag and drop these and also add the ones that you want. Finally, you've got options to show categories on the homepage. You can use this button to show or hide categories on the featured image. I might turn this off or on using these buttons here. Make sure you save your changes, and if we just refresh our site, then we're going to see we've got those categories that we added in here, as well as the latest post displaying down below. The next option to show you then is single posts, and from here you can control the appearance and functionality of your single post page. First option is breadcrumbs, and these are a great way to make your site more user-friendly. They just add little guidelines to show you the parent pages of where you've come from, so perhaps the homepage as well as the category. You can enable or disable these just by pressing the box here. You can choose whether to have a featured image showing on single posts just by pressing on or off, as well as change the layout of your single posts. Now here you can reorder the different elements on your single post, and this is really powerful. You can choose where to have displayed on the page the post content, related posts, author box, and tags. You can enable or disable any of these just by dragging and dropping, and also reorder any of these just by choosing here. You can also change the related posts, how these are displayed, using either categories or tags, and also the number. You've also got options to customize how the post meta info is going to show. You've got categories, author name, date, and comment count here, and you can enable or disable these as well as reorder just by dragging and dropping. So I might disable the comment count but leave the rest as they are. You've also got the option to show the related posts meta info, so I might just have the author name here but remove the date. You can show the category on related posts just by pressing on or off here, as well as choosing whether you have standard comments, Facebook comments, or both in a tabbed layout. If you're using Facebook comments, then you can expand this in order to add your Facebook app ID, which is something you can find by following this link. I'm just going to have normal comments on and disable Facebook comments. You can also highlight author comments by having this on and show the date in comments as well. As always, make sure you save your changes, and if I head over to my site, I'm going to be able to find I've got the options as I set them up, including the category, author, and date here, as well as down the bottom of the page I've got the author box, related posts, and then comments using standard WordPress comments, and any author comments will be highlighted here as well. Next up we have social buttons, and here you can enable or disable social sharing buttons. You can choose the position for your social sharing buttons. This can be above content, below content, or floating next to it. I'm going to have mine floating next to it as it's a great way of increasing social shares. You can choose whether to have the social sharing buttons on pages as well as posts by having this on. I'm just going to keep that off so my pages are less focused on social. And finally, you can choose the social media buttons to display. You can drag and drop in order to add or remove these. So I might perhaps want to have Google Plus off and Pinterest off, but add LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook likes. You can also add in Facebook shares, which are distinctly different from Facebook likes. Press Save Changes, and if we refresh our site, then we're going to see that now along to the side of the article, we've got added in those 4 social sharing buttons. It's a great way of increasing your social and customizing it to how you want. Next up is ad management. Here you can control the adverts displaying on your site. You can do everything here without using separate plugins. Great feature added into the theme. You've got options for adding in adverts in 2 locations here. You've got below your post title and below your post content. And then you can just paste in your ad code from AdSense, Buy-Sell Ads, or any other ad provider here. You've also got options to customize when the adverts show. You can use this show after X days field in order to customize when these show up. For example, if you wanted to have the advert only displaying after 7 days after the post was published, you can just add a 7 in here. You might want to do this in order to exclude your regular visitors from adverts. You can do the same here with the below post content ad area. You can choose a number here or just select it to 0 in order to have them displaying all of the time. Make sure you save your changes once you're done adding in your adverts there. Next up, we're going to have a look at sidebars. And here you have full control over your sidebars, and you can manage sidebars as well as selecting each one for a custom section of the site. You can even select custom sidebars on a per post basis in the post editor when you're creating new posts. We have got a full separate video tutorial on how to use this section at community.mythemeshop.com if you want this in a little bit more detail. So you can add custom sidebars just by pressing this add sidebar button here and adding in a name for your sidebar. So what this is going to do is add an extra widget area under appearance and then widgets for you to add in custom widgets, which will only display on the sections that you add them to here. So for example, if I wanted to have an extra single post sidebar, I could just add in a name here as well as an ID, press OK, and then save those changes in order to get that to show up on the theme options. So if I just scroll down here and find single post, then I can add in here. On this drop down, I've got default, single post sidebar or no sidebar. So by selecting single post sidebar, then on single post and only single post, the widget area for single post sidebar is going to be where the widgets for that page come from. You can do the same for all of these different other types of pages, including your single pages, archives, category archives, all these different archives, search, 404, and shop pages and single products as well if you're using the WooCommerce plugin. As always, make sure you save your changes, and to find the extra sidebars, you're going to head to Appearance and then Widgets, which is something we'll cover later. Next up, we're going to have a look at the navigation, and if you click on here, you've got a link to the WordPress navigation menu, which you can also find under Appearance and then Menus. And here you're going to find the WordPress menu editor. You can use this to customize the menus on your site. If you click View All, you've got options for all of the different pages, and you can select these and press Add to Menu in order to add those in there. You can drag and drop any of these in order to change them, as well as expand these in order to change the URL, the navigation label, the title attribute, any CSS classes, which is optional, as well as choose an icon, which is also optional. You can choose a custom color as well, and again you've got a color picker here, or you can just press remove in order to remove any menu items. You can save your changes there, and if you click on to manage locations, then you're going to have the option to choose which menus are displaying in which locations. So on the primary, we've got the main navigation. We could add to the footer, perhaps a menu 1, and on mobile you can also choose a different menu. You might want to have a condensed menu for mobile users in order to cut down on their scrolling. So we could just add a third menu in there and save those changes. If we head back to the theme options, you're also going to see you've got options to customize the different navigation displaying on each page on a page-by-page basis. So for example, on the home page, you can select a primary, footer, and mobile navigation, and you can use these drop-downs in order to access the menus you've created. And it's the same for all of the different types of page on your site. As always, you'll want to make sure you save your changes once you are done there. Next up is the typography, and here you've got options to control the fonts used on your site. We have got a full separate video tutorial in this section at community.mythemeshop.com, but here you can choose between the 17 standard font sets or from the Google Fonts library, which contains over 600 fonts. So we can see we have options for all of the different elements on your site, all the way from the logo font to navigation to the article titles, etc. And on any of these, you can click on this drop down in order to customize the font. You're going to see up top you have the web-safe fonts, and as we scroll down more, you're going to have the Google Font Library. You can search in order to get through these, as there are an awful lot of Google fonts. So if I wanted to have a custom font here, I could type in the name, choose the font weight if the font has multiple font weights, choose the size of the font. So I might want to change this to slightly larger here, as well as the color. I'm just going to leave that as the default there. If you click on more, you're also going to see custom CSS selectors, add in additional CSS, such as underlining, and choose a fallback font. And here you can add in any web-safe fonts, just in case the browser is unable to load the custom font here. So I can add in those there, as well as change the preview color to light or dark if I'm using a lighter color. And you can do that for all of the different types of font on your site and completely customize all of these. You've also got options to load additional character sets. If you're not using the Latin character set, you can just tick these in order to load those. Note that this isn't available for all fonts, and you want to check out the fonts on the Google Font Library themselves in order to find out. So if I save my changes and then head over to my site, I'm going to see that now when we load up a page, if we just scroll down here, we're going to see that the homepage title font is that one I've just selected here. Next up, we're going to have a look at import export, and we've already looked at the preset options here, where you can load the preset designs and layouts you're going to find on the demos. But below those, you've got options for importing and exporting your options. If I press the Show Export Code button here, we're going to see I've got loading up all this text here, and you can copy and paste this into a text file in order to save it for later and create a backup, or you can copy it here and then import into a different site just by pressing import code and pasting in your export code as a way of quickly moving your options between two sites. This is a great way if you're moving perhaps from a development site onto a live site. You've also got options to create a child theme here, and you can do that just by typing in a name here. So I want to have blogging child theme and pressing create child theme. The theme is then going to automatically create a new child theme, and I can go to appearance and then press themes in order to activate my new child theme. You'll want to use a child theme if you're making any direct changes to the theme files themselves in order to make sure they don't get overwritten when you update your theme. As always, you want to make sure you save your changes once you're done. And that concludes our look through the theme options. There's just one more thing to show you then, which is under appearance and then widgets. Here you're going to find all of the widgets available for the blogging theme. You're going to see on the right hand side you've got the different widget locations, including the homepage, sidebar, the normal sidebar, and any additional custom sidebars that you've added in the theme options. On the left hand side you've got all of the available widgets, including custom My Theme Shop widgets such as a Facebook like box, popular posts, latest tweets, and so on. You can add any widgets just by dragging and dropping, so I can just drag and drop here onto the standard sidebar, for example. You can customize things such as the title, the categories. So here I'm having my featured posts. I want to have multiple categories here, which I can select just by using the shift button. You can change the number of posts to display as well as the navigation type. You can also choose whether to show the post title for this widget. So for all of these widgets, you're going to have options available below. You can expand or distract them, and you can also drag and drop in order to move those around. And you can also move widgets between sidebar areas just by dragging and dropping. So I might want to move these to my single post sidebar, for example. So if I just drag and drop both of those, and if we load up a post on our site, then we're going to see that we've got the featured post slider now, along with those arrows and some popular posts displaying as well. And you can just have a look at all of these widgets. They've all got descriptions, and you can drag and drop them in order to get them displaying how you want. Widgets are a great way of customizing your site and just adding a little bit of edge to increase user engagement. So that concludes our look around the blogging theme. As I mentioned, it's a really powerful theme that creates content at the heart of your site. I hope this video has been helpful for you. If you have any queries, then head over to community.mythemeshop.com and we'll be able to help you out. Thank you very much for watching.